This is Motel A&M. I am Michael, joined with...
Alex.
It's a podcast where we talk about everything and anything, so let's get started. I just want to say one thing, Alex.
What's that?
While I was listening to our last episode, I said, shout out to Mrs. Shu. She was the best kindergarten teacher I have, or had. And it just sounded like I failed the kindergarten. I had multiple I did not. I just want to make that clear. I do not have multiple kindergarten teachers.
She was the one that made you pass kindergarten.
She was the one that made me pass. That's why I shouted her out. She was so cool. But I was just kind of laughing to myself because, like I said, it just sounded like I had like more than one. Like, how many kindergarten kids does this guy have? How many times he failed it?
Too many to count.
How's your day going, Alex? How you doing?
You know what? It's been pretty good. I've been itching to get back on here.
Same, all day at work. That's all I was thinking about. My notes, man, are looking like an English 13 1A college outline. Let's just tell you that.
All right, you want to get us started today with your first topic?
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch back on an episode where we talked about TikTok. And yeah, so to follow up, Oracle was a company running to buy TikTok. But did you know Walmart was also in this as well? Now, yeah. Let me go ahead and explain everything. So Microsoft, I believe, was one of the first companies that showed interest and made an offer to buy TikTok. Walmart then also, Oracle became the next company that wanted to put a bid on, and then Walmart joined Microsoft, but a new company called TikTok Global did not want to sell TikTok to the American tech giant Microsoft. So I believe in September, from what I was reading online, that Microsoft dropped, and now Walmart and Oracle could possibly be sharing the company with new TikTok Global company, with Oracle handling the data in the US and owning 12.5% of the company, and Walmart owning 7.2% of the company. So that's going to be interesting. And the last update that I was able to find was on September 20th. So, I mean, it was a month away pretty much. And I'm kind of interested to follow the story.
What I find interesting is you wouldn't think like Walmart would be involved in something like this. Like you could see like Oracle, they're like very tech involved and all that, but Walmart just like, like a very general type of like store,
Right? Maybe they're trying to reach out and broaden their horizons or something like that. I just thought that was like really interesting to kind of read up on and get our facts right, because I don't want to be crucified for giving the wrong facts out.
I mean, I will give it to Walmart. It's always an opportunity to make more money,
No, I agree.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No. That's one of the biggest things I kind of wanted to talk about right now. But I want to see what you got going on. What's here for us today?
I got some stuff for us today.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not upset, but kind of dumbfounded that we haven't talked about this already since we're in October. We haven't talked about Halloween.
That's a very interesting topic.
So I know you and your family have been watching, Halloween movies just to get in the spirit of things.
Yeah. I really wanted to. I've never actually really seen a whole lot of the original Halloween movies, and I feel what better way to start this new tradition, I guess you would say, is to start it with the Halloween movies. And I've only watched the first two, but because there's so many, actually, I watched Nightmare on Elm and recently watched Friday the 13th.
We're talking about the original Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I did. You were already going in. Have you watched like most of the Halloween movies? Like, did you have any favorites?
Like I said, I've only watched the first two. I still want to keep watching, but I want to. I mean, we're already the 16th day into the October.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I could try to like expand the variety of movies that we watch. They watched Hocus Pocus the other night, but I was like, no, I'm not about that one. I don't like that one. That's the one movie I don't like to watch in October.
I haven't seen that one. What's it about?
I don't know. It's about witches. I know it's a good movie because a lot of people say it. and they could attest that this like it's a traditional Halloween. So you know how like Halloween, Jason, Nightmare on Elm, those are like classics. This would fall into another classic.
Right.
And one thing I kind of forgot. I mean, I mean, Mikey, Jason, Freddy, all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of other movie personas all like capture the image and the spirit. But Chucky has been there forever, man. I feel like he's also something a series I need to sit down and binge watch.
If you do ever finish them, I do want to give a little shout out to a YouTube channel I watch.
Hmm.
This is a channel called Dead Meat, and they'll do kill counts and pretty much recap the whole movie in a little like 20-minute little synopsis.
Do they do
So
like little like hidden Easter egg reveals and stuff like that?
yeah, or like they'll say like this person was on this movie too, so they're like really involved with like the horror genre.
I think that's really cool. I know you did send me the link, and I really wanted to watch it today, but with work, it's kind of hard to find some time sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a question for you.
Hmm.
What is the most deadliest killer?
Um, Bear Grylls. Out of the Halloween franchise,
Out of all killers, since we're in the spirit, you could
are
say
we counting IRL killers or just like movie genre
let's
killers?
let's probably stick to
Movies.
yeah, fiction.
Okay. Oh man, that's kind of tough because I feel like all right, I might get a little hate in the comments, but I don't feel like Freddy was a very good killer. Like from watching his stuff, I'm like he's okay, and I'm not fanboying over Mikey, but I feel like Myers is just like from the first movie, he was pretty like on it, and of course, like I don't, I'm pretty sure I don't want to give too much stuff away in case people haven't seen it, but like that last part was kind of like, come on, man, like you're this like massive dude, and you fall over that railing in the house. This is it's whatever, but especially after the remake, I thought he was pretty dope. I was like, this man, I would not want to be in a movie with.
I can understand that. He is I don't know if you saw the remake of in 2008. They got a massive dude. He was probably like 6'6" and like almost 300 pounds. I was like, that is a man I would be scared of.
Hmm. Are you
But
talking about the Rob Zombie one or the
yeah, the
the
Rob
most
Zombie.
recent? Yeah, yeah. I heard the Rob Zombie's like super gory. I'm kind of excited. I do want to watch that.
Yeah, that was a really good one, especially if you're into the gore of fake gore, obviously, of Halloween.
Hmm. What about you?
Um, Deadliest killer. You know, maybe not the deadliest. Well, he could probably be deadliest, but maybe the most creative is Jason. Jason has so many ways of like I've seen people get decapitated. Today I saw apparently he got someone in like liquid nitrogen and smashed their head, and I'm like, Freddy can't do that.
Hmm.
I want to see Myers do that. And Myers, does artwork too, but in a different way. But
I've
I
only
do
watched the first one,
the Friday the 13th.
and that was such a plot twist. I'm not gonna say anything else.
It is really good. I do want to keep going on. Freddy, one of my favorite killers, but not the most probably effective of the
Hmm.
bunch.
Hmm.
Now Chucky, that doll is pretty much immortal.
Yeah.
He always comes back
uh,
somehow.
oh, who do you think would win, Annabelle or Chucky?
Oh, Chucky, come on, man.
Chucky for sure.
Yeah, Chucky, come on.
You know, what did have you seen The Nun?
I honestly, I am a big wuss when it comes to like very scary stuff. I like watching horror, but not like jump scares.
Yeah, so dude, props to um the makeup artist for them because they do some like real scary looking characters, and I understand when people are like, I don't want to watch it because I'm extremely terrified of the characters, and I could like agree with that because when you see them do their jump scares, that's like the image that's burned into you for like the rest of that movie and probably night until you kind of like grow up. You're like, okay, it's just a movie.
Um, Kinda continuing on that, when I used to watch, movies, my parents wouldn't watch them with me. I used to watch them when I was, in middle school, and I don't know, no one would be home but just me, and I would watch scary movies by myself. And you wouldn't think about it, like, during the movie, but, like, after it's done, you're like, "Oh, it's dark out now. Maybe I need to turn on all the lights in the house." You know? I don't want this to happen to me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I get scared after that, and then everyone comes I'm like, "Alright, all the lights off now."
Dude, I know people even now, 20 above, that still do that after watching like Insidious and the whole haunting series. Not gonna lie, I can agree with you.
I
Killers
did
are scary.
hear I did hear the Insidious were, like, kinda haunted or something, right? Or they had a bad vibe to
Um,
them?
I know I've heard stories about The Exorcist, like the original. I don't know if you know this, and we'll get more. Um, I'll look into this so the next episode we could talk more about it. But there's like people that were like killed on set, I believe, and have like weird
Yeah.
things happening to them from that Exorcist movie. The Insidious movies, it wasn't the Insidious one. It was I can't think of the movies. Now every time I like try to think about stuff, like on a dime, I can never think about them. Uh
We'll have to probably do our research on this.
yeah, there's a movie that people it had the nun in it. The nun sprouted like branch from this original movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
think we're on the same page, but can't think of the name of
I
it.
can't think of the name for oh, The Conjuring. There we go.
That's what it is, yeah.
That one is scary. For sure, I've heard people say like they've gone home and but like that's another interesting um topic because is it that they're over imagination and that the fact that they're thinking about this movie so much that it becomes a reality to them, or is there something actually attached to the movie and that follows them home?
Are you saying, like, it might be just in their head?
Well, yeah, but I also don't want to like be completely skeptical, because I mean things happen that are unexplainable. So
Yeah.
I just want like, what do you think? Do you think it's half and half, or do you think it's fully some
I
energy following them home?
I always have to have an open mind, and I feel like, maybe there's something attached to these type of things because I have heard, I did hear recently what you were saying, The Exorcist, people were getting, cursed and all that, and people dying. It's like, maybe there is something behind, the movie you're making or whatever you're making it out of.
Yeah, yeah. I for sure we will definitely come back to this topic on the next episode, and I'm actually really excited to talk about it because we're in October, man. This is
Yeah.
Halloween, baby. It's game time for Halloween.
Um, Last thing before we change topics here, did you have any interesting Halloween experiences?
Halloween experiences, like, what do you mean?
Anything, anything that might have happened during Halloween or when you were young, going trick or treating, something unusual happened. Anything.
Ah, no. It was just typical, trick or treats. When I was in scouts, I would say about the freakiest thing we did was my dad, for a little scout den, he would make like these foods, and he'd put blindfolds over us, turn off the lights where we were meeting, and he'd say, "I want you guys to use your senses." And he would play like spooky Halloween music, and he had like the surround sound and everything. And I remembered I could not. I mean, literally, when you're that young as a kid, like 7 or 8 years old, 9 years old, you hearing spooky music. Your dad just told you a scary story, and he gives you hot dog weenies with spaghetti through them, and he tells you to like. I got terrified. He was just giving us food, and because we were so terrified, we were imagining like different things, and I started bawling. I was like, "No, I don't want to do this no more."
Hey, what do you mean? That's a good experience right there.
That was like the scariest Halloween thing I've ever experienced. But in Roseville, they used to have these malls. It was a room or just like a part of the mall that just didn't get bought out, and it was kind of like the Halloween store. They come every year, and they would have like three different levels of like this haunted room that you would go through. And I remember probably the one I was not completely scared, but it did make me nervous because I was with my sister and another friend. And the first you enter the room, completely black. There's no light at all. And they have like these rollers, but they're so tight together when you're squished and you're forcing yourself through in between these rollers, and you just feel completely claustrophobic. And I remember my sister just started crying, and she was like, "I can't do this. I can't do." It." I'm like, "Yeah, you can," because once you go in, like the rule is you can't go back out. You have to
Right.
finish the whole thing. And she was scared, and I was like, "Guys, my sister's really scared. Like, don't." But like secretly down low, like I was also kind of scared too. Nothing ever happened. I think that was the scariest one. We went through this whole maze, and like lights were flashing here and there, and it would just blind you, and then they went completely black again. But I think the scariest part of that was you think something's gonna jump out and scare you, but nothing ever did.
It was probably just the suspense that would get you.
Yeah, and we got out of there, and I mean, I had a blast. That was a more funner one, but nothing like crazy happened on like Halloween for me. What about you?
I do remember just one because we would go trick or treating. My mom would always go, and we used to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you grow up, you like kind of grow out of it, and you think you're a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember one experience. We went to these apartments that were by my house, and the only way to get to this certain apartment, you had to go through like this little, let's say a little hallway, the sidewalk, but it was covered, by a wall, and you know, you know how people usually prop up like like stuff up to like kind of scare you.
Like
It's for the
decorations?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was walking down the sidewalk. I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna get my candy and I'm gonna leave." And I saw like this this figure sitting down on my right. I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool, a little decoration." And as I'm walking back, it scares me. It's a person inside of them. Like this man just sat there and saw me walk past and wanted to scare the living daylights out of me
Ah,
until I
dude,
walked past.
I remember there was people like that would sit like in the middle of their driveways when you're trick or treating, and it was like this super scary scarecrow with like a bowl of candy in his lap, and you have to go up there and get it. I I never liked this, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did have a scary incident too. This man had his garage door open, completely black. Dude, this man gave me a heart attack at the age of like 9. It was me and my sister and probably like my neighborhood friends. And we go up to the driveway, but we're not like going in the driveway. We're going towards the door and we want to be respectful. So we didn't cut through the grass. Out of a sudden, we hear this guy laugh and the chainsaw just turns on. And I'm like, "Ah,"
What the
dude, I ran, booked it. I cried. I was like, I don't ever want to go back to this man's house. And honestly, I think it was a corner house somewhere here in town, and I think if I went back there, I would know I would know which house it was.
But you wouldn't you would know not to go that way.
Oh, I know not to go that way. Yeah,
Right.
man,
Well,
it was Halloween's a fun little month of our year.
oh yeah. One of my favorites.
Mhm.
All right, Mike, let's go on to one of yours. Talked a lot about Halloween.
Um, you know how we talked about COVID on the first episode?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you read this. I did get it from ABC because they were the ones that covered it. But a girl from Texas might have found a cure for COVID or a way to treat it, I would say. And you know how old she is and how much she won? Take a wild guess.
Well, I'm assuming she's young if you're asking her age. Let's say about 16,
You're
and
close.
let's say she got about 100K.
So she's a 14-year-old who won 25K for potential treatment for COVID. Anika Chibrolu is from Frisco, Texas, and she's being called America's top young scientist. And she's in 8th grade. And pretty much she said, I developed this molecule that can bind to a certain protein on the SARS-CoV-2 virus. This protein, by binding it to stop, will stop the function of the protein, she said, and meaning COVID. And I told my parents that. They're like, my dad looks at my mom and he's like, why do we have stupid kids? Why do we have stupid kids?
Oh man, that gets you emotionally. Come on.
Nah, I know he's joking.
Huh?
Um, but that's, dude, 8th grade, and you're over here making treatments for a pandemic. That's wild.
You know what I was doing in 8th grade?
Mm,
Making sure I would pass my classes and just playing soccer at lunch and throwing ketchup packets during lunch.
mm. In
Definitely
eighth
not
grade.
solving that.
All right, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I was playing hacky sack like 24/7. I was that one guy. You know, if I didn't get out of my middle school and if I stayed there, I think I would have been like those college kids that were like playing hacky sack.
Can I just shun you out to the corner right now? I don't like those guys.
I mean, they're cool, but like they're also kind of cocky.
Oh, yeah.
Like that one guy on Community, the guy who makes songs about Brita.
What's his name? I know
I
exactly
can't
what you're
remember.
talking about, but I can't remember his name.
Also, kind of out there, which is I think is I want to see your input. Honolulu just allowed 8,000 people to land in Hawaii uh,
From where?
for travelers, for tourists. And they are like kind of experimenting with a pre-travel testing program that allow travelers to come back to the island without quarantining for 2 weeks if they can produce a negative coronavirus test. What do you think about that? Not to get political.
No, no, no. It's good. It's a start, but I'm just wondering where they're from because, especially here in the US, we haven't stopped it.
Hmm.
I'm
That's
just
true.
curious. Yeah. And then especially on an island, it I mean, I guess it's kind of good because you can contain it to a certain degree. Not like, like the US is so massive.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's like a start in the right direction to come back to like normality, we should say.
Yeah, it is scary because a very touristy spot like that, I would be terrified if we did this and then they're like, all theoretically or hypothetically, all 8,000 people landed. They're all negative. Everybody's okay. And then they kind of like disregard the testing. They're like, everybody come because I believe Hawaii is a very tourist economical place. I think they rely a lot on tourists as to help their economy. Um, but I feel like I wouldn't want that to like backfire on them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a
That,
very very scary step, but it's also something I think that also needs to be done because I'm pretty sure people are going crazy right now.
yeah, like we were saying yesterday on the TikTok issue, we always have to be kind of distracted
Mhm.
to like kind of keep going. And I feel like tourism is one of the big things, like going on vacation.
And that's another thing I kind of want to ask you. So if COVID wasn't happening, where do you think you would be, or like what do you think you'd be doing if it wasn't uh as it doesn't have like strong influence in our lives right now?
Did you read my notes? Because I was gonna ask you about travel as well.
No, I mean anything. Like, what do you if COVID wasn't happening in 2020? How different would you think your year would be?
Here's the interesting thing. Me and my parents were actually planning on going to New York this year
Hmm.
for my birthday, but COVID hit and didn't change. We did really want to go to COVID to New York, but plans changed because of that. I did want to go. I also have been looking into go to Germany. Uh,
Germany.
yeah,
Why is
I'm
that?
one of my favorite soccer teams is in Germany, and I just want to experience Germany. I'm I've seen it's really really nice, and my mom has a friend that lives over there, so I have a place to stay if I really wanted to go.
That's cool. I I don't know German anymore, but I mean Duolingo. Please sponsor us, and we'll make this trip happen.
We'll learn German and we'll learn something else.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, Germany is beautiful from what people show on Instagram and Facebook. And I don't know if you ever get these like videos that pop up on your Facebook feed, but it's like this really beautiful area of a place or a destination, and they say why to visit this place. And some of them are in Germany, and it's just beyond beautiful. When I was in class, I would see pictures of the Alps. Yeah, the Alps, right? No, the
Uh,
Shire. The Shire. This is Lord of the Rings.
You talking about the mountain ranges there?
Yeah, dude, they're just incredible. And I was looking into like just doing like a boat ride down the Rye, I believe. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this. It's been a while. But yeah, you could like take like this long boat ride down it, and you could have like wine, beer, cheese, just like a really nice, elegant experience from what I've seen.
Not to just be on Germany, but I've heard like that whole area is just like it's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Switzerland and like France and all those spots out there. I know you were practicing Japanese this year, and
Mm-hmm.
it got me thinking. I know Japan is really nice,
I
really, really nice.
Amongst our friend group, we've Japan's always been a topic that I think we talked about more this year than we have ever, and I think it's something that could be happening in the future. I could see us doing it as a group. I really do just want to go outside the United States and experience different culture, different lifestyles, because not everybody lives like we do here in the U.S.
Yeah. Speaking of different lifestyles, I have been meaning to go to Mexico. I've been here for 25 years and haven't met my grandparents, and just to see how different life is from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be something cool to explain. And I know my dad's from a really nice state. They have some really nice beaches out there. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely do want to go out there.
Do you think people in like Europe and Asia, uh, more on the opposite side of the world, do you know how we see their um like touristy spots as like beautiful? Do you think they see the same as like we see there? Oh,
Mike, do you
huh.
remember when we went to Yosemite? How many different nationalities we saw?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess that's true.
What
I
about
guess
when
I
you
guess
go?
as we live here, like we take a lot of things for granted, and we're just like, it's
Like
just this or it's just that.
we live in such a sweet spot. We have Yosemite not that far away. We have the Bay that people like just want to go to see the Golden Gate.
Hmm.
Los Angeles is it's somewhat far, but still not on the other side of the nation.
Yeah,
We have some
true.
really good spots out here.
Even like within our country, like we talk a lot about New York as well. I really want to go to New York. I've heard Miami is really nice. Texas, I've heard Texas is nice. And then recently, because of TikTok, um, Montana, those mountain ranges over there, I want to hike.
That's interesting. I've never heard someone say, "Let's go to Montana."
I sent you and some of our other friends a video. I don't know if you watched it, but dude, like it's just incredible. The whole like I'm more of a nature person than I am like a city and club person. If I have to choose like a hike over like partying, I would definitely choose the hike because you could make so many. I mean, in my opinion, you could make so many more memories with the people that you're hiking with compared to like blacking out at a bar and regretting it the next day.
And not actually remembering it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll still feel like pretty defeated the next day from both occasions, depending on like how hard the hike is. But I mean, both experiences do offer like they're good. But I personally I prefer a night or a day in nature than in the city.
Yeah, I know we have talked about going camping soon because our last camping experience was really nice, but we just want to make it a little better.
And speaking of camping, do you remember our like kind of like first episode of something even near a podcast? You remember that?
Yeah, we actually just called it the podcast because we
We
were
call,
just talking. We were just
yeah,
talking for hours.
yeah, we call it the podcast. It's where we actually recorded a bit and got real deep with our conversations. And I don't know if do you still have that recorded recording?
I would have to look for it, but yeah, I still do. It should be somewhere buried on my phone.
You should definitely find it, and we could put like a bonus episode if it's listenable, if it's appropriate.
I think the also the name we had was "Isn't It Crazy?" Because that's all we kept saying.
Oh, dude, when you're out in nature and you could like see, like especially from light pollution when you're away from it, and you can see so much more of what's up in the sky. It's truly incredible. It could open up lots of conversations.
Funny enough, when after we were done wrapping up yesterday, I was very interested because we were talking about space. I started looking at the stars and all this different patterns that, like, I guess there's maps that even show you what's outside. But it got me thinking. I'm like, man, why am I looking it up here when I could just go outside?
Hmm.
But I do like looking up at the stars and like seeing the different constellations and all that.
There is a sweet spot that we've both been to, and when you're out there at a certain part of the year, the lights just the light pollution is pretty much like non-existent, and the stars are just incredible. I mean, you could see like meteor showers if we really wanted to. You could see falling stars. You could see part of the Milky Way galaxy's arm. There's just so much you could see, and it's almost unreal for the area that we live in because you don't expect to see that stuff like, a 40-minute drive out of the city. And we're not in like this crazy city, like big city. It's just to me like insane that we drive 40 minutes out somewhere and we could see all that. And we take it for granted a lot. I feel not just like us, but like everybody takes that for granted.
I was really excited when we first went out there because you were talking about it for months. When we did end up going out there, I'm like, I couldn't believe like my little town was like in the distance, but I could still see it, and it felt like a whole like different world
Hmm.
without like light coming down at us, and we were just chilling for literally just doing the same thing, just talking for a good 3 4 hours.
I feel like talking is just it takes skill, but like once you're with somebody who could like feed off you and you feed off them and you're both vibing off each other, like it's almost easy as breathing and it becomes like second nature. And I think that's why like the podcast is working out so well because we literally just feed off each other and the conversations that we can have and the regrets, not necessarily regrets, but like wishing we could continue talking. Like last episode we wanted to keep talking more, but we want to keep episodes a certain length, so that's also really fun to see.
Just full disclosure, we definitely don't want to run out of topics to talk to you guys. It's fun doing this, and making sure we have something to talk about, but we can keep going. We just want to not keep it too long for people who can't listen for a whole hour or
Hmm.
more.
I want to run something by you, man.
What's up, man?
uh you might get a little heated over this. Is that okay?
Ooh,
It's nothing bad,
I
nothing
might
like
I might have an idea what you're going on.
unbaked enchiladas. Why don't you tell the listeners about that, man?
We don't want to use names yet, do we?
No, no, definitely not names.
Okay, so
We'll refer to him as
we'll just say A.
no, we'll refer to him as Sid. Like Sid from Ice Age because his thought process on this, I'm even ashamed to call him my friend. I'm kidding.
Is he gonna listen to this?
Probably.
He's gonna have some words with us. All right, so me, Mike, and Sid, we were playing broccoli, just just talking. We usually just chill because we usually don't see Sid a lot. Sid, he's very busy with his life now,
Mhm.
and he's living with his girlfriend and her parents. And he starts saying that uh her mom starts making some sort of Mexican food very weird. And this is a traditional Mexican mom. I have the goodwill to have worked with her at my job, and she's such a nice lady. So she's very old school, like my mom. But Sid said she made enchiladas wrong. So I was very curious to see how she made it. And he said, "Oh yeah, she puts the tortilla in the sauce, and then she just fries it a little and puts crumbled up cheese on top." And in my head, I'm like, what is he talking about? That's like the perfect enchilada. Like, it got me slobbering while he was saying, like, I got hungry. And I'm like, are you okay? That's the most Mexican way. Like, I thought, because my ex, her mom did it differently than what I was accustomed to at my house. So I thought, oh, maybe she's doing it wrong. But he just said it wasn't even it wasn't baked. Oh, what do you mean? Those don't go baked. Those are just fried. He's like, no, my mom would bake them in the oven. Who
Oh
on
man.
God's green earth would bake enchiladas?
And
Oh,
mind you, I'm like from Mexican descent too, but I'm more like whitewashed Mexican. And so when I heard that, and recently my mom used to cook them similar to how Sid's mom used to cook them, but she learned how to cook them traditional. And my family loves it when she cooks it like that. And I was even getting heated. I was like, "Hey man, like don't knock them." Like it wasn't until like later, like a day later, I was just thinking at work, and I was like, "Man, Sid's making me mad for what his comments about the enchiladas were." I just, oh man,
I was like, man, enjoy like Mexican cooking because that is probably I'm not gonna just say it's the best, but it's one of like the most diverse you can get.
yeah, and especially when you become like, or when you experience like the traditional cooking, the ways that things were cooked compared to like the shortcuts that we take now. Um, it's a different experience. I'm always gonna like relate food with experiences because that's pretty much how we not just judge how the food tastes, but your like environment too. Is like if you don't have a good environment and you're eating something that's like kind of good, like you're gonna think it's really bad. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I do love Sid. I was like, man, don't get so mad over something as small as that. It's still food, and man, if my mom would be like, "You want enchiladas?" I'm like, "You give me 8 right now. I don't care if I'm getting fat."
I think yeah, enchiladas are super amazing, and they're just like tacos, dude. Like you could just keep eating them and eating and eating.
Oh, so for people who don't know what enchiladas are, it's just you make like a sauce. It's kind of like tomato sauce, kind of, and you just dip the tortilla in, and you put some meat, and you roll it up,
With
and you
some
just and
crumbled
you
cheese.
yeah, you deep fry and you put cheese, and some people put lettuce on top. You don't have to, but that's just what enchiladas are. Not
What?
baked.
What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Tamales.
Really?
Tamales or enchiladas. Top 2. They're always going back and forth.
No.
Cause even my mom has told me, like, "I'm pretty sure I can poison you with tamales." 'Cause, it's just I mean, man, I love meat. I don't
Yeah.
think I could ever, like, not eat meat. And, like, there's, like, so many different types of tamales you can eat. You can have, like, the red, like, pork,
Mhm.
sorry, or you can even do, green pork or, chicken. We've even made some with cheese and then put, like, peppers in it, and it makes it, like, spicy, and it doesn't even have meat in it, and it's still so good. Or,
I
sorry, go ahead.
sorry. No, 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 no. You go. You go. Go. Go.
I just wanted to say there's also corn ones that I haven't even tried, but different varieties when it comes to with tamales.
Mhm. Now, I know like people who know me, they're like, "You look Mexican, but you're white." And the phrase I always say is, "I'm a coconut, brown on the outside, but really white on the inside."
I
'Cause
love that.
I don't speak a lick of Spanish. I mean, I do, but like it's oh man, it's really bad. And I've always hated the fact that I can't speak like Spanish fluently because it is a beautiful language, and I wish I was able to learn it as well as other people are. But my mom cooks menudo and pozole,
Mm,
and both of those I prefer anything with beef, but she does make a really good chicken one that I like. And she bakes like the tortillas and like makes them like tortilla strip chips, I guess you would say. And I just sprinkle them on. Oh, my mouth is
getting
literally
hungry.
water. Yeah, especially in the winter, dude. She would make sometimes when I was. She doesn't do this anymore, but when I was younger, she would make some the previous night, and then I would walk to the school bus, and I had coffee cups, and she would pour me some, and then get it really hot, or she would make it hot, then pour it in the coffee cup, and I would just be like shivering, but I was like my hands were nice and warm because this coffee cup was keeping the heat, and I was like sipping on this menudo or pozole, and it was just it's one of my favorite like childhood experiences.
Pozole tamales during Christmas time and like hot chocolate are
Hmm.
must haves.
Now, when you say hot chocolate, are you talking about like traditional hot chocolate? Like what is it?
Traditional Mexican hot,
Abuelitas? Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I'm not a hot chocolate person, but everybody's like, it's Abuelita's way or no way. And I was like, hey man, I'm just out here trying to live, you know?
Yeah, no, I'd say that because my mom literally made some last night, and I was gonna ask her, like, right now, like, "Where's the hot chocolate?" And she just had some last night.
Now, do you put anything on it like whipped cream with like chocolate sprinkles or
No, 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 no. It's hot chocolate, not hot chocolate with cream and spring.
the reason why I said that because I just remember. Do you remember from the Simpsons movie
Yeah, yeah.
when
I remember what you're talking
Flanders
about.
and he? That was the first time I was like, man, I want one of those.
What here's something, because I do sometimes question stuff,
Hmm.
because English is still not my first language, and I still come across some stuff. What's the difference between hot chocolate and hot cocoa?
Well, I'm gonna be right. No, I'm just kidding. I think the difference is like I think they're both chocolate, but cocoa is like a more richer chocolate or a deeper chocolate. We have to get an expert on this, and my sister would know. Um, I think chocolate's just like generic Hershey's, because I don't know if you've ever seen like Hershey Coke or Hershey hot chocolate mix. That's like this powder, like you would like Nesquik, and then cocoa would be something more like I don't know, like a deeper, rich chocolate.
Mhm.
I'm probably butchering this whole thing, and listeners are gonna like mail
Don't
us
fact
and
check us,
like,
please.
yeah, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow with a mob outside that my house.
You don't know the difference between hot chocolate and hot cocoa. Take
You
them down.
know, to be honest, I'm not much of a chocolate person, so like any chocolate dishes, I think brownies is about the only chocolate I eat. To be honest, I love me some brownies. If it's hot brownies with some vanilla ice cream, that's even
Mm.
better.
As we have mentioned before, we're a little bit of food critics out here.
Oh, dude, we could go on and on and on about food. And I think food's amazing to talk about, to be honest. I think people could have a whole podcast just solely on food. I think there probably are podcasts on food.
Oh, no doubt.
One thing I wanted to ask is I know you said tamales
Mhm.
are some of your favorite foods, but is there like a side dish that you cannot eat Mexican food without?
Ooh, that's an
S-
interesting.
Yeah, so me, um, I'm a rice fan, dude.
Oh, I know it.
All my dishes have to have, and you know what? Actually, now that we're talking about this too, one of the best combinations that one of my really good friends makes, her mom makes it, and it's don't hurt me, caldo.
No, you
And
said that perfectly.
dude, I love dipping the rice, man, in the soup and just slurping on that mad boy. And my tia Juana, she makes amazing Mexican rice. And she's always taught me, but you know, like when people teach you and you try to do it, it's just not the same.
They
And
they just kinda have, like, a touch, like, they something they're not telling you because they have a
yeah,
little touch.
maybe it's the experience, maybe it's the love, but this woman, she will cook me literally a whole pot of rice just for myself. And there was a few occasions where we've had family parties, and she says, "This is everybody's, but this one specifically is Michael's." And she lets me take it home. And I live quite a bit away from my family, so the fact that she does that for me just it's super special for me to eat that.
Yeah. Going back on what you're saying, like, maybe it's something else, like, I know there's certain ways my mom cooks,
Hmm.
and, like, I don't know what it is, but I think, like, this, when she does rice, like, at the end when she's, like, salting it, she's, like, "It has to be in a cross, and it's gonna taste perfectly just because I did it like this." I'm like, "My god." You know what? And it comes out good, I
It comes
think
out
it's, like,
perfect.
yeah,
Hey man,
uh,
you make good rice too. The halal rice that you make.
I
Ooh,
pretty much know that recipe by memory now.
that's good. That's good to know because not very many people can cook rice.
But
Um,
definitely had, help from my mom. The first times it was really bad.
Do you remember when we went camping and we tried making Mexican rice?
Are you really gonna put us on the spot right now?
I'm putting us on the spot right now.
Can we say that guy? That one guy that does that?
There was two guys. There was one that saved us and one that kind of wrecked us.
Yeah. I'm saying the one that wrecked us.
So a little backstory. We had taken so much, and this is the same camping trip that we took. That started like our little podcast, and we over prepared on food, but it was good because we were eating like kings out there, man. And one of the funniest days, I guess, or nights was we were trying to what we were doing like asada and rice.
Yeah, we had
I,
southern rice and like I think we might have taken some fruits or something.
no, I think we had beans too. I want to say we might have had beans too.
We had beans, but I don't think we cooked them.
No, so my friend's like, "Dog, I got you." I
That's
got you, dog.
that's
That's literally how
exactly
he talks.
yeah.
And he's cooking it, and he's like, "I don't know. Like, I trusted this man with my life to make this rice because I was still really new to cooking, and I had no idea how to make rice, like Mexican rice. I know how to make white rice, but not Mexican rice. And make a long story short, like he did not cook it right. It was it just wasn't right, you know. And we had to have I guess you would call him my brother-in-law. He saved us with the right rice, and he got on that thing, and like within like 20 minutes, we had white rice
Breastfeeded.
with our asada. Such a weird combination, but it worked out.
Kind of sucked because the whole like rice put us back and like the meat you had cooked was good and then it started to get dry.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
then
because
yeah, we had good sticky white rice.
it was amazing, man. Yeah,
I
you
do
gotta
remember I do remember the steaks we had earlier were oh just so good. Just in the middle of the
wait.
day.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can remember the menu. We had chorizo con papas,
Oh, that
and
was amazing.
we had we had the steaks. What did we eat with the steaks? Do you remember?
I want to say soda and something else, but I don't really remember.
Oh, I know we had soda. We had lots of soda and Gatorade, Gatorade and water. Um, dude, I feel like I can't remember what we ate. I'm pretty sure we just had like basic stuff too. But I'm telling you, for like those like what 3 days, 2 nights, we were eating like kings. And me and this man, we Snapchat had like that streak thing, so we had to go back. We literally drove in town to maintain our like I don't even know what number it was, but we had a really high streak number. Isn't it funny how like little things like that make you do crazy stuff?
Little dumb stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like why. And I look back at it, I was like, we could have just let it die to just redo it again. But we've been talking. I think I've been bringing up a lot of topics. Is there anything you specifically want to talk about?
I know there's something we want to talk about that we left so short on yesterday, but
Hmm.
um not to go on the viewers, but how are we doing on time right now, Mike?
We have about like 12,
12
15
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of gonna leave this one for the next time.
Yeah.
Um, I just have like I do have other topics. I have some deep thought topics.
Let's hear it.
I want to hear some things on your bucket list.
Oh, my bucket list? Oh, well, let me tell you, it's pretty non-existent as of 2020. I'm kidding. I did mention in episode 1 of our podcast that eating a hoagie and getting a New York slice of pizza is one of my bucket lists. And I know it sounds like such like a basic thing, but like I don't know, me and food share a very special relationship.
Yeah.
um, I want to build the courage to go skydiving. Now I'm not scared of heights, but if you've ever been like on a roller coaster and you feel the drop in your gut, I don't like that feeling. And that's usually like when I'm going down a drop. But like heights, like I'm okay with. So I do want to like eventually go skydiving. I want to see Metallica. They're the band that kind of got me into playing guitar. And I used to know a lot of how to play their songs. I want to go out of the state, out of town, and those are just like some of like the most basic ones. Um, what about you?
Um, I'll tell you some things right now, but as you were saying, we do some dumb stuff like in the moment.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I think I might have told you about this, but the fair was in town one year, and and you know what I'm gonna say.
I think I do. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I was
Let the listeners hear this.
I was really into this girl, so I ended up going to my first time ever going to the fair, and I got there kind of late, so they were like kind of shutting down already. Like it was getting close to the closing time, so I ended up getting I think it's tickets so you can get on rides or something,
Hmm.
and she tells me it's like, oh, let's go get on this ride. It's like the ones that it goes up and then like it swings like a pendulum,
Yeah, the
but it
ones that
gets
terrify me.
so I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. I'm into this girl. She's gonna go on it. Let me go on it as well. There's a line for like 30 minutes that I have to sit. I'm like thinking of any excuse I can make to not get on this thing. And I didn't think of anything. So we finally just got on there. And trying to be a little sly, I'm like, hey, let me hold your hand. This thing like scares me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was that's. I think that's pretty smooth.
Little sly. But let me tell you, that did not help because that thing literally made my stomach drop. And you're just like, I'm gonna fall. This is like you've seen like Final Destination.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
thing's just gonna fall apart and it's gonna be me. You just looking up and then you come down, you just see like the ground is too close, man. I'm gonna need you to just put me down on the ground now.
Hey, man, but kudos you went on
Oh
something that daring.
man. And then and then I had like an adrenaline rush. You're like, you know what, I could do that again, after you almost like didn't want to do it.
Almost died. Have you ever gone on another roller coaster or like that, or have you just like,
Hell
nah, screw that?
no.
No,
Hell
I
no.
don't blame you, man. Like roller coasters, I eat. Oh man, I'm so like, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. I hate roller coasters, and even the kiddie ones. I like the little place that we have here in Merced. I don't know if you know this, but when it was open, they had like this kiddie roller
The
coaster.
At the zoo?
Yeah, I didn't like that. I went to Six Flags. I went on this kid one
Oh
because
my god.
my cousins were like, "Come on, let's go," and I don't really hang out with my. It was only one cousin, and she's like, "Come on, like, let's go," and my sister's on it. She's like, "Come on, Michael, don't be like a little scaredy cat," and I was like, "Yeah, come on, guys, let's go." And yeah, dude, I was scared, and like it wasn't even as bad as the one that you went on. Like those are scary. The one that you went on.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, this is an easy one." I'll be like, "I saw that thing going up and down for a good hour." I'm like, "I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fly out." Um,
Is was that a bucket list item that you got to cross off?
well, I mean, I guess so, right? Like, just try it. I mean, I was really up for the. I don't want to say stupid test, but like, just be like, be more open to stuff and not like
Mhm,
want to live with like, what if I did go on it?
mhm.
And I was like, you know what, whatever, I did it, and I could say I did go on that. Um, Something that I have crossed off recently was shoot a gun.
Oh, yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so literally, like my first day, I went all out. Like, I actually went with Sid and one of my other friends.
Sid.
Sid, Sid's a big part of my life. How
Dude,
can I say?
he's gonna hate that.
Nah, I mean, you gave him the name. I said something else.
I apologize, Sid.
Yeah, Sid. But Sid's really good with weapons, and he knows his way around it pretty much. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with him. I want to learn. I want to see, like, I do want to have a home defense weapon because you never know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to try out to see how all these things work and how to use it properly. So I started out my day with the Glock 17, just a regular handgun. And then Sid got really he's like, "You know what? I'm going to do a 1911, it's a little it has a little more kick than a Glock." So then he's like, "Hey, you want to try?" I'm like, "Well, shoot. I guess I kind of have to now."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh man, it's got a little more kick, but this is still my first day. I'm so nervous." I'm like, doing it right, you have to get a stance, wrap your fingers right and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Make
yeah.
sure you're doing the procedure right. My man Sid got so like in the moment. He said, "I want to try an AK-47."
Oh.
like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "Sir, this was my first day, and you're already gonna try out an AK?" He's like, "Yeah, you know what? Like, all you have to do there is buy the bullets. Like, you can pretty much use any weapon there. You just have
Mhm.
to buy the ammo that you're gonna use."
Yeah.
So, there's a different, shooting range for pistols and the rifles. You have to get, like, a longer range for the rifles. So we ended up, getting the AK, and the friend I went with is a girl, and let me tell you, this girl has pretty much no fear in her heart because she saw Sid shoot the AK and said, "I kinda wanna try." And I said, "Woman, what are you doing? This is your second time doing this too." And then, she shot it, I'm like, "Huh, you know what? Kudos to her." And then Sid looks at me and, like, pretty much just, like, hands me the gun. He's like, "Are you gonna have a go?" I'm like, "Well, shit, I can't back out now, you know?" So I kinda have to shoot this AK now. And then, we took, like, good 3 minutes, how to, position it on your shoulder so it doesn't kick you.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you, that gun is awesome. Not that I, wanna get one, just to shoot 'em, but it's just so cool to just to shoot it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like that adrenaline rush. Um, and to say I did that on my first day, it's, like, been itching me to go back.
I know we've been all talking about going back to the shooting range. Now, I've never gone shooting with actual guns. I've done like BB guns, but like nothing like real life IRL stuff. So that would be a blast to experience with y'all.
The one thing I do wanna tell you, like, if you do, end up going, you do, like, get kinda, like, shocked and, like, when you shoot it, you're like, "Oh," like, it kicks at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, like, something you're like, "Oh," like, you kind of expect it, but, it still gets you.
Mhm.
But Sid is really good on, telling you, the correct way to do it and
Like guiding you.
how to load and unload, and if you have questions, he's there. But yeah, that's really, really fun,
Sid is someone we really want to have on.
and we love, even
Yeah,
though
we love him.
baked enchiladas.
We would probably want him to be someone who's reoccurring frequently. But like we said, like Sid does have
Very busy life.
very busy life. Yeah, he has a really busy schedule. But gosh, like I hope we do get to bring him on and you guys get to see his humor because his humor it just completes our like little trio and it people like always laugh. Like he's probably like probably one of the funniest people I've ever met.
It was really nice when we completed our little circle with us 3.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a like this little like Blue Angel 6 as a status. So that was, I really do hope we get him on soon. Now we got about 2 minutes left. Is there anything you want to go ahead and add?
Yeah, so, guys, if you do wanna go ahead and leave us any questions, we did make a Twitter today. Um, I believe it's underscore Motel A&M, and, it'll give us, stuff to talk about, and we could, get back to you guys as well. The same name on Instagram, if I'm right, Mike?
I believe so. We could go ahead and I'll double check everything before the next episode so we give you guys more accurate. Because I was having issues with the name earlier, but I think I fixed it. Sorry. And I do, what he said earlier, like jump in whenever you guys want. If there's a part that you want us to talk about a little bit more, I mean, feel free to leave your comments on Twitter, Instagram, DM us, questions, even topics that you guys want to talk about. Go
Yeah.
wild.
As we've, probably shown, we've only talked about, like, a few topics today, and we went a whole hour on it. But we do wanna make you guys feel connected to us, and, we could just talk about anything with you guys,
Hmm.
and take questions from you guys.
Yeah. If there's anything, like I said, hey, you guys want to talk about, you let us know. Like we do want to enforce though that we don't want politics, religion, and all that stuff that's gonna divide people and cause arguments because we want this to be chill, somewhere where you can kind of escape everything that's kind of going out in the world. And if you're having a bad day, maybe listen to one of our podcasts and see how it goes. And who knows, maybe it might cheer you up with some of our like really dumb stories that we're telling you guys or laughing. I feel like some of our laughs could be contagious. Not mine. Anything else? You got anything else you want to say?
I'm good for today. I'm just excited, always to get the new one going. Glad we're still doing this
Hmm.
and continue to keep doing it.
Now, soon we do plan on bringing a guest on. Um, very close. This is only episode 3, and we're constantly modifying, making changes, and just trying to make our podcast better because we want to deliver the best that we can give to you as a listener. And we want you to take part of this growth with us. So, I don't think I've said thank you yet. So, thank you for the people that are aware of the podcast right now. Because, like I said, this is very down low, and we've only shown a very few people, but somehow we're getting like a surprising amount of really good feedback, and we hope that we could meet expectations and maybe even go above and beyond soon in the future.
Yeah, definitely want to say thank you to everyone as well, guys. Thank you for all the support we're getting and the constructive feedback from you guys.
Construction,
Constructive
construction,
construction derby.
destruction derby.
Our favorite words.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is Motel A&M. This is Mike and Alex signing off. Love you guys. Peace out.
Have a good night.